So let's try to simplify the square root of 80. To simplify this radical, once again, we're going to try to factor out as many perfect squares that we can from the number that's underneath the radical, the radicand. So first let's get our perfect squares. The number 1 squared is 1. That's not going to be really useful for us. The number 2 squared is 4. The number 3 squared, that's 9. The number 4 squared, that's 16. And we could keep going, but that's good enough for what we need. So we go down our list of perfect squares. Once again, 1's not that useful. 4, that perfect square can factor out nice and neat. So let's factor 4 out of 80. So 4 times 20 makes 80. So we factor 4 out of 80, and that leaves us with 4 times 20. Okay. Looking at the number 20, we can also factor another perfect square out of the number 20. So which one can we do? Well, start with 4 again. Can we factor 4 out of 20? Yes, we can. We can break up the number 20 into 4 times 5. So we have that 4 that's out front already, and then we break up the number 20 into 4 times 5. So we factored 20 into 4 times 5 there. Okay. The number 5, is there any more perfect squares we can factor out of it? No. We're done. So all we have to do now is break up the radical, or bring the radical down to each individual term, or each individual number. So we have the square root of 4 times the square root of 4 times the square root of 5. Well, the square root of 4 is just 2, so we have 1, 2 for the first. And then the square root of 4 again is 2, so we have 1, 2 for the second. And the square root of 5 is an irrational number. It has a decimal, it just keeps going. It does not have a repeating pattern, or does not end or terminate. So we're just going to leave that as the square root of 5. Okay? Remultiplying the numbers that are out front, we're left with 4 square roots of 5. And that's our answer. Now you can save yourself quite a bit of time by factoring out the largest perfect square in the beginning. So, if we want to simplify the square root of 80 again, we can factor out the largest perfect square possible, 16. So if we factor 16 out of 80, we can factor 80 into 16 times 5. Okay. And then if we take the square root of each of these, the square root of 16, well, that's 4. The square root of 5, well, that's going to remain as the square root of 5. Okay. Again, it's an irrational number, and we have our answer. Notice that on the right hand side that was much faster because we went with the largest perfect square in the beginning. The left side it was slower, but we still get the right answer either way.